Hey everyone, this is Priya. I want to cover multi-agent framework today. Um, and I want to particularly explore the CrewAI library for building a multi-agent framework. Um, Multi-agent pipelines framework is the evolution of where LLMs are going next. We all probably have experience using LLM with prompts to solve different small tasks. Multi-agent is the next step there, where you now have a team of agents collaborate on solving more complex tasks. And I do see this being applicable in a lot of different problems. So there are a few different frameworks out there that implement multi-agent. So I've mentioned sort of a few here. So there's CrewAI, which we're going to cover today. There's also MetaGPT, there's AutoGen Studio, and then there is some stuff that Langchain is also adding in to support multi-agent. With multi-agent, your kind of goal is to sort of take a bigger task and then break it into chunks, and then have agents sort of do those chunks and hopefully also collaborate between each other to solve it as effectively as possible, sort of resembling like a team in an office. So I started using the CrewAI framework a little while ago. It's a pretty recent library, and I like the fact that they're continuously updating it and adding more features to it. The the library is set in a format that it's easy to assemble different assemble a framework here for a variety of different tasks. So the basics here is that the kind of key terminology here is that you have agents and then you have tasks. And mostly the agents, the tasks will be done in a sequential process. Um, so when you think of this framework, think of task as a big outcome you want to do. So this could be, I want to analyze stocks and write reports about it, or I want to design a course, or I want to maybe write a report on a topic. And so then you divide that task into several different tasks. The agents are basically LLMs with their own personality. And these LLMs are given different tools so that they can have more specialized knowledge, or have access to data, or be able to sort of maybe do calculations better than a standard LLM can. Um, and and essentially, then you assemble this crew and you kick off this crew. So the task that I want to show here as a sort of a working example is, go to the next page. I built a sample example here, a very generic idea, which I think can be twisted and applied in different cases. So I want to build an assignment helper crew that students can use to get help and get initial draft for their assignments. So I broke this task into several tasks. So I have first a task for researching, generating ideas, and writing the outline of the report that needs to be written. Then I have the task of actually writing the report. I also wanted to make this pipeline a little bit more complicated. So I had here a person who's like a task to evaluate the report and give feedback to what's already been done, and then final task to revise what's the original report based on the feedback. So this is the definition of task, and we'll cover that in code as well. The next step would be to define agents. And as you can see here, I have three agents, and these agents are each assigned a task. So there's a one-on-one mapping between tasks and agents. The agents I have here are three LLMs. The first one is going to be the researcher and the outline writer, which I call the idea generator agent. The second one is going to do the actual writing, and the third is a critic agent who will be given a rubric on which to evaluate the report, and they'll give the feedback. And then finally, the original writer agent will then come back and rewrite the report based on the feedback. And then finally, we also define tools. Tools is, in my opinion, what gives LLMs the superpower to do well on a task. So In this case, the tools that I'll use will be search tool, could be, it's going to be a Wikipedia tool to get information, and a Wikidata tool that gives more structured information on places and people and events, etc. So this is what the overall framework looks. You have tasks at the bottom, you have agents assigned to tasks, and then you have tools that are given to agents. So let's go to the code. Before we go to the code, I want to just quickly cover the how to set up the library. It's pretty simple. Once you have an environment where LangChain and OpenAI is installed, you can just do pip install CrewAI to install CrewAI. Okay, so I'll go through a sample project setup here. So like I said, there is agents and then tasks, and then the whole crew will get assembled in main.py. So going through the tasks, we had 4 tasks here. The first is to generate ideas for the report, and I think that's what the task is, that you use search tools to generate ideas. You only write ideas and you don't write the actual report. Then there's a task to write the report. And then finally, there's a task to kind of give feedback so that the report can be improved. And then there's a task to rewrite the report. So this is pretty simple. And the task itself is a kind of variable here. So depending on the instructions from the user, the pipeline will work on different tasks. The more interesting piece here is agent. So an agent for me is going to be a GPT-4 turbo model. The tools here are tools that I imported from LangChain. You can definitely also define custom tools here to be used, and I'll kind of cover that in a future video. Like I mentioned, I have 3 agents. Like if you kind of go through the flow that we have here, we are going to have these 3 agents, and the agents have what's called a backstory, which is essentially their system prompt, and then they have goal, which is their current prompt, and then you have these tools that you can assign to the agents. Awesome. So let me go through the story here for one of the agents. So for example, for the report writer, I wrote, you help students with writing reports, you get the ideas from idea generator, and then you use the tools you have to write the report. If feedback is given to you on the report, then you will revise your report. And then in terms of details, I asked it to, follow the directions from the user, have the report be intro, section, and body, and then sort of use the tools you have. For the critic agent, it'll be good to define the rubric. So for me, I'd kind of define that you need to kind of needs to meet user criteria. It should be coherent. It should be the right length. It should be interesting. It should be accurate. Awesome. So this is how we define the agents and the tasks. And then finally, in terms of the actual crew, it's pretty simple. You sort of just set up everything here as tasks and agent, and then you can just do a crew kickoff. So very quickly, I want to show you guys how this works in how the actual setup looks like here. So I'm going to kick off my main.py here. And so it comes back and asks me what I want to do. So I'm gonna, maybe I'll say I am a grade 4 student who has to write about famous Canadians. Choose from different fields. Maybe choose people born after 1950, and then let's say make it interesting. Yes, this whole pipeline takes a few minutes to run, so I paused the video and I'm restarting. I'll cover everything here. So after I gave the task, the first agent to come in is the report idea generator. You can see that it uses the tool to do the search. And then it makes this outline where it's picked up like a few different personalities from different fields as we instructed it to do to make the outline of the report. It passes this to the report writer agent. I was a little bit disappointed that the writer agent decided not to use the tool. I guess these are people that kind of knows from its memory, so it writes this out about all those different people that the outliner did. It adds in more details about them, and then it writes a conclusion. And now we get to the report evaluator. So the evaluator checks against whether it meets user criteria. Is it coherent? Is it appropriate length? About its sections, interesting, accuracy, and this is interesting. So it gives it opportunities for improvement, replace Margaret Atwood with a Canadian author born after 1950 to meet the assignment's criteria, enhance transition, add engaging hooks, conduct a thorough fact check to make sure all information is accurate. So this is, I really like the fact that it kind of came back and gave good feedback. So now go again to the report writer. And yes, this time it says I want to get a list of Canadians born after 1950, and then looks at 2024 in Canadian. It looks at a bunch of stuff, and it comes on to Jan Martel, and then it does Wikipedia search on Jan Martel. So this is interesting. Look at all the tools it's deciding to use by itself, and now rewrites the report. This time replaces Margaret Atwood with Jan Martel. Awesome. Yeah, so this is the whole output. Yeah, very cool, guys. I hope you enjoyed this example. Look at my code on GitHub. Give me a like on the video if you like it, and tell me what other type of content you'll love to see. Thank you, everyone.